Rob, FP2 down here at Silverstone, we were just saying in the dry at the moment, but who knows what's going to happen. So your thoughts on that session? You're mid-table.
Yeah. I mean, we're where we need to be, really, with the conditions that we had, so quite happy with that. Obviously, first time back here for many, many years. 2017 was the last time I was around here. Track's obviously been relayed and changed quite a bit with curbs and so on, so it's just, finding what the car likes, where it wants to be, what you can use, what you can't use, getting the hybrid deployment right. We've had a few little niggly things this morning, but free practice 2 was much better, so it's just a case of building the confidence. Obviously it's been dry all morning, and no doubt it will give us a sprinkling of rain just before qualifying, throw some wets on it and see where we end up.
Absolutely. Talking of tyres, you mentioned wets there, a bit of a field day on availability of tyres this weekend as well.
I think it's getting to that point of the season, and that's the difficult thing about the practice sessions. There's a few people out there on softs. We haven't got any. Josh definitely hasn't had any, but a few people doing lap times on softs. They seem to be worth about 4/10, which is quite a good step. We've just been running around on the mediums. We've got plenty of mediums to throw at it, and no doubt we'll be changing them to wets shortly.
Absolutely. In both the sessions this morning, we've seen track limits being scrutinised again, which is also going to throw something into the mix, isn't it? Particularly at turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, track limits is one of those things that it's becoming a very boring story. I'm quite happy if they build a concrete wall around the outside of Cops, to be honest with you, because we go through Mandarin Corner in Macau at 240 k's and no one does track limits there because there's an Armco barrier. I think this whole track limit thing, I get it for safety and runoff area and all the rest of it, but at the same time, the problem with a corner like Cops is you don't know if you're going to do track limits until you arrive at the limit, because it's a blind corner, it's a fifth gear corner. We've got 1,400 kilos of a race car, and by the time you arrive there, the car's doing what it's doing. So I get the track limits thing. I think what would be better is relying a bit more on the drivers, because if, for instance, I did a track limit, I backed out of the lap completely by the time I got to the marshal's post where the judge of fact was, he should hear that, and then I shouldn't receive a warning for that, because I've taken the lap away from myself because I know I've done track limits. Problem is, you come around every lap and there's pit boards from the organisers hanging out, black and white flags, black flags, numbers, all that, and you just go, it just gets a bit silly. So I'm obviously not a fan of it whatsoever, but like I say, old school, put some grass back, or just make it a real penalty.
Happy days. Just finally, going into qualifying, obviously the ultimate ambition is a shootout. Will you be happy with anything less?
Not really, no. I think we're at that stage of the season now where I've got full use of the hybrid and all the rest of it. My sights are set on the top 6. We always know around here it's so tight. You need to get that ultimate lap in, that bank lap. It's going to make it easier with less cars, with the split session, obviously. But you've still got to nail the lap.